Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel again. I'm back today with a really quick little project. Just before I start, I hope you can see alright and there's not too many shadows yet. It's evening and it's starting to go dark here, so I hope you haven't got too much overhead light. I'm just trying to fit this in, so do apologise for that, but hopefully it's just you can see everything clearly. So what I'm going to make is a really quick project. You know, what those ones where you just want to make something pretty but you don't want to spend too much time over it. So I've made these little fairy gift bags and they are super simple. So this one is using the new Fairy Boutique, and I've hardly used anything. So if you can only buy a few papers, then this is perfect for you. Or if you've got any scraps of your other papers, they'll still make great little gift bags. So if you haven't seen the Fairy Boutique, I've just got the front page here. This is where my light may shine on it. This is it. This is from the 12 by 12. There's some lovely papers in this. I won't show you them all fully because I'm sure there's lots of other videos and Graphic 45's own brilliant video showing all this. So that's the papers I've used. And literally all I have used to make this little gift baggy box is this. So what you need, I've made two versions. One is this one is going to be very slightly bigger than the other because I wanted to see what the difference would be. So to make the gift bags, you need a base which is 11 and 3.5 inches for this one. You need to score at 4 3/4 and 6 1/4. And then to make the box, it needs to be 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, scoring 1 inch on all sides. If you want to make the smaller version, there's just a slight difference here. The base is 1/4 inch and the box is 1/4 inch shorter on those sides, but the score lines are the same, so I've included it for you. So let's get started. So to start with, you need the base, and this is the 11 by 3.5 inch piece, and I'm just going to score this at, as it says on the instructions there, 4 3/4 and 6 1/4. So 4 and I've got my things in here, yeah, 4 3/4 and 6 1/4. There we go. Yeah, on the right lines there. I've put these in, that's what I didn't want to mess around with there. I'll just check on that. 4 3/4. There it is there. And 6 1/4. Okay. So let's get those folded up. And that's the only scoring on that piece. And then we want to score the base being 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, and we want to score at 1 inch on all sides. So let's just do that. This is the simplest project ever. And if you like your decorating, then it's also perfect because you can just go to town on the decorating. So that first piece just needs to be folded on your two score lines. And that gives you, if I tilt that a bit will I get less shadow, that gives you these two pieces and this effect. All I did then was I took my corner rounder and chomped those two corners. Now where I'm at it, now you could use anything here, but I'd got a oval punch. You could use your, I wonder if I just turn the lights out whether you can still. Oh, that's not too bad, is it? Let's see. Then all you need to do is make your handle. I'm just going to pop that here. There we go. And punch those like so. That then gives us our handle. Next up, on this piece that I've scored, I just want to trim out the corners. So where the points meet, I'm just going to trim myself a little notch out, just like in box making. You're making just one section of the box here. This is going to be your little compartment for sticking your sweets or goodies in. That ends up like that. Get rid of those bits. And then you just need to score and burnish those bits in. I can't believe now that the nights are already starting to draw in. It makes a real difference. Even in the early mornings now, it is a lot darker. Summer's already on its way out here. But hopefully we've got a last blast. Let's see. Right, so this is what you've got. I'm just now going to stick those corners. So just pop a little tape on the corners. And make this into your box section. Pop that round. Oops. And that's what you've got. So there's your little, just get that one straight, shall we? There we go. Okay, so that's what you've got. That's going to be your piece that fits in here. And we can do that now. Let's add a bit of glue. So all I'm going to do is add the glue to this part here. Just pop a little decent amount on there. And that simply fits in this section here. You can pop that in, and you've got a slight bit of leeway. There's just a couple of millimeters either side there, and that gives you this. So give that a good squish down, and let's let that dry there. Now what I've done then is I have cut, let me get my pieces wherever I've put them. Here they are. I have cut an oval that's going to go on the front from white card, and this is time just to get out your nesting dies. The ones I've got here are these, what they're called torn ovals or tattered ovals, and these are Gemini ones, Crafter's Companion. So I've just used the same size and I've cut it twice because I don't really want anything bigger than that oval. So the trick is cut it on a slant, and then you can add a little bit of tape to each side, and let's get that there. Offset those. I think my camera could do with coming down a bit. Let's do it. There we go. And then this one at this side, and because you've got a wobbly edge around this, it doesn't actually look odd. There we go. We can pop that on there. So all I'm going to do then is add that on with a couple of foam squares. Let's pop that on. And then that will give me just a little lighter area to stick my elements to. There we go. So from the papers, I have cut a couple of fairies, and using Graphic 45's tag die, which is this one, it's got this leafy element in it. I have just out of spares from the paper cut a few leaves, so that's what I've got. Okay, so let's get our fairies on here. Now I wanted a little sentiment on this, so I fished through my stash, and I have got the Tim Holtz, these sentiments. Now let me just find out what they're called for you, because these are perfect. She says, let's have a look. That's what they're called. Metallic stickers, actually. Quotations. There's all sorts on there. They've got white with gold writing, silver writing, and then they've got the blacks with the gold and silver. But they're great little sentiments. And I've got this one, which I thought was perfect, free to fly. So I've got my, let's arrange my fairies. So I'm going to have them like that. So let's pop this one on. and you really hardly need anything supplies wise to make this. You can make them with the most minimal amount of papers. And if you've got the earlier fairy ranges, they'd be perfect. Or even if you're going to do some Halloween projects, these would be perfect for that. So I'm going to pop that just going there. Let's just pop a bit of tape on that. Just going to pop that one. Come in. Where are we popping that? Let's see if we can get her up a bit more. Just want that up a bit so you can see it. There we go. Get her on a bit better. That's it. And we can pop her there. That's better. And then I've got these green pieces, the leaves, that I am just going to arrange coming out from the top. Just giving myself a little bit of dimension. Pop those on. And I think I might just have a little bit down here too, just to get that leaf up a bit. I want some here, let's have a look. Do I? Don't I? Time to fiddle about a little bit. I'm just going to pop a little bit down there. Just continuing that green in, I think. Yeah. Just a bit of balance in this bottom corner. And if you just overlap them, just coming out of the edge, just a tiny touch. There you go. Oops. That going under there. That should do us. Okay. I've whizzed off that leaf there. Let's try and pop it back on. There we go. Okay, happy with that. That looks cute. And now to finish off, I have just got some green gingham ribbon. I'm going to take a piece of that. And all I'm going to do, so you'd pop your goodies in there, and you can put them in a little plastic bag, one of your card, you know, the plastic pouches that you put your cards in, if you like, to keep your goodies intact in there. Let's tie this bow, giving myself too much ribbon as usual there. Bit neater. Okay, trim those edges up. I always do that the wrong way around every time. Guarantee my little pointed part is the wrong way. That's better. And then this one, do this one the right way. And there we go, you've got your little bow. And all you need now is to add a little bit of glitter on there, because they are fairies after all. And you've got to do the glittery bit on their wings, I think. A little bit on their dress, because why not? Looks pretty. Okay. And then you are left with a really nice couple of fairy bags. Now there's not a great deal of difference in size, but there is, if you want to make a bit more room in your box. So I hope you've enjoyed those ones. They are super quick, as you can see, really easy to make. If you want to make those for Halloween, like I say, they will be perfect. So, oops, wobble wobble there. So I hope you enjoyed that. I love the colours on this, the greens and the purples. They'll work really well together, and like I say, hardly any elements fussy cut from this. You could use the stickers as well if you wanted to, or the die cut elements. So thanks for watching. I'd love to know what you think. This latest paper collection is really lovely. I was lucky enough to get this paper collection with my winnings from a Graphic 45 challenge. So thank you very much, Graphic 45, for that. This paper is beautiful. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and a like, and I'd love it if you could subscribe and make the channel grow. Hope you enjoyed this idea. It's not my idea for the actual box. I've tweaked it a little bit size-wise, and obviously it's my interpretation with the decoration. I like Graphic 45, as you already know, and Mintay and all those papers, so these are my versions. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!